Danganronpa Togami, Volume 1. Multiple Counts of Attempted World Domination. By Yuya Sato, a Danganronpa light novel. Once it is fired from a gun, a bullet cannot be reused. The following text was written using the following note-taking system: K2K System version 2.3. Adulterations, fabrications, imitations. I think that one must often tolerate these in a world rife with copies of manuscript. I am left speechless by the solidity and sheer veracity of a system. Therefore, my job is only to make a few corrections. I know my place. I have no intention of joining the ranks of those monks who ruined old English poetry. All the best to the spirit of the original. That is, if there is such a thing. Chapter 1. Byakuya-sama is God. Part 1. The story is simple. A young man tried to take over the world. A young man had extraordinary adventures, one after the other, until finally he got what he wanted, and was able to return home safely, and there he lived happily ever after. The problem is all of the means that were taken to that end. Part 2. I heard the World Domination Proclamation from a back alley as it played from inside the Church of Bones. I was chewing on some hard bread. Maybe this is how it felt to hear the blank shots firing from the black ships, or the Black Hawk being shot down over the radio. If I were a certain princess, I would have let out an elegant scream, something like, "God damn it, you motherfucker!" I am the verb to write made manifest. I am the act of writing made manifest. A writing machine. A word puppet. But still, I pushed countless thoughts aside, well aware of how I was blushing. He had everything stolen from him. His name, his status, and then, to add insult to injury, he had his clothes stolen too, leaving him asleep as naked as he came, right next to me. So basically, right in this moment, am I the only one in the world who knows that he exists? Do I have a monopoly on him? I've come to realize this fact. So I'll just tell the world about how the bread tasted instead. It was real shitty. Part 3. Plane hijackings, company hijackings. Lately there have even been family hijackings. But what he had hijacked was his identity. Part 4. Right after the World Domination Proclamation ended, a number of helicopters started flying overhead. They buzzed around the city of 100 spires like metal beetles. Was this their work too? Or were these from the Czech government? With Borgs, I could probably have looked up the helicopter specs, but when the whole world was gunning for us, I didn't really see the point. In the whole wide world, the only ones we can rely on are each other. Byakuya-sama. I finally said his name. I realize it's taken a while for the protagonist to arrive. Sorry to keep you waiting for so long, but I hope you can understand. Robbed of those golden medals of super high school level heir, mega corporate successor, the Togami family's greatest weapon, 40 billion yen in personal assets, walking talent, walking emperor in training, and walking glasses. He was left entirely in the nude, and so I didn't want to roll him over so that he was facing upwards. Despite my worries, when Byakuya-sama opened his eyes, his whole being was nothing but beautiful. He sat on a wooden box, showing his naked body without any embarrassment, reminiscent of a Roman sculpture. His flaxen hair was glossy, his skin was as smooth as porcelain. Even the fingers that touched his glasses were perfect. Byakuya-Togami was a perfect 10 out of 10. Even after losing everything, he was still overflowing with as much elegance as ever. Byakuya-sama, are you feeling alright? I'm perfectly fine. Even his voice was beautiful. Why was I sleeping in the nude? Explain. The Church of Bones was attacked. You lost consciousness when it happened, so I carried you to the alley to escape, and now, here we are. Take this. What is this thing? It's a towel. Are you an idiot? I can tell that much by looking at it. Well, one of the locals was kind enough to give us this towel, along with the bread that I've been eating. Go find them. Are you going to kill them? I'm going to reward them with a castle. Byakuya-sama wrapped the towel around his waist. Have you identified the attacker? Not yet, but do not hesitate without my permission. Well, somehow or another it looks like someone has taken your place, Byakuya-sama. Taken my place? Taken my place? The place of the one and only Byakuya-Togami? You've become quite the comedian. Byakuya-sama pushed up his glasses with his fingers like he always did. Oh, and a quick correction. Earlier, I got a little excited and said he was naked as he came, but actually his glasses were the only thing left intact. And another correction, since the nickname Walking Glasses wasn't actually a compliment at all, I guess I'm a little off today too. I have to get back to the ball as soon as possible. I have important work to do. I'm writing a biography on par with Shinsho Koki and Taikoki. That's what I was put on this earth to do. The title of the biography is Journey Under the Midnight Sun, and it is not a rip-off. A funny joke. That's right, it must be a joke, a hilarious joke. Byakuya-sama nodded several times as if moved by his own words. This event will make a very momentous chapter in Journey Under the Midnight Sun. After all, this is the only time in my life to date that I have faced a setback. It is the first time in my life that I have encountered adversity. Of course, that would be of interest. How lovely. How refreshing. He laughed, as if he encountered a challenging game. As if he were a child who had found a frog he hadn't squished yet. It was a beautiful sight. It was a divine scene. Byakuya-sama is a god. In order to record these impressions before I forgot them, I pulled out my beloved fountain pen along with the book I always carry around. This is Journey Under the Midnight Sun. I color the blank white pages with blue-black ink, getting closer every day to filling it entirely with the records of Byakuya-sama's magnificence. The pen flew across the page, gliding on my happiness. It seems you're already getting started on writing it. Splendid. I expect no less from one of my possessions, no less from my blue ink. Your praise is the deepest honor I could receive. Dedicate yourself to your writing, and make it full of emotion, grandiose, and yet without belaboring the point, without licentiousness, without excessive sentimentality. Your words cool and collected. I will resolve this incident without fail. Yes, I'd stake the Togami name on it. Hey guys, Dr. Medic VG here, and yeah, it's doing something different, doing an audiobook, which is not something I have done before, but I was requested to do it by SeriousSeiko. Very interesting, very controversial entry in the series. One thing to take note while going into Danganronpa Togami is not everything is as it seems. Not everything is to be taken 100% literally. I'm not going to say why. It's got to do with obviously the story later on. But yeah, this book gets a lot of this book trilogy gets a lot of flack. At least the first two novels get a lot of flack. The third volume tends to like explain a lot of the stuff that happened in this first and second volume. It's also the only Danganronpa light novel book that has 5 stars on Amazon, apparently. So that's something else. I'm actually quite looking forward to read more. Let me tell you your thoughts if this needs any work or anything like that. This last segment is entirely impromptu. I've got no script in front of me, so I'm basically just rattling off words. Now, what I'm thinking of is that it's split up into sections where there's translator's notes. So I was thinking every time there's a translator's notes section, I'll stop there, read the translator's notes, and read something else. So here's the translator's notes for this section. The Church of Bones is a nickname for the Sedlec ossuary. Incidentally, the novel seems to take place in Prague, but it appears that the Sedlec ossuary is actually about 1 hour away from the city. So I guess that's just a bit of not a plot hole, but it's just a bit of a liberty taken. The black ships that the main character mentioned earlier is a reference to Commodore Perry's arrival in Japan. If you don't know, Commodore Perry is basically the guy that opened up Japan's borders when it was closed off. And yeah, well, some people think that's a good thing, some people think that's bad. Up to interpretation, I guess. Black Hawk, obviously a reference to Black Hawk Down, the movies. The Shinshokoki and the Taikoki, 2 biographies. One of them, the Shinshokoki, is the chronicle of Oda Nobunaga, who is obviously very famous. If you don't know him, yeah, just look him up on Wikipedia. You'd know him pretty much immediately. And the Taikoki is a biography of Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Also, you can look him up yourself as well. Now, Journey Under the Midnight Sun, they say, it's not a ripoff. The reason they say that is because it's actually, it's already a mystery novel. But in terms of being a biography of Byakuya, it's actually a pun, because the Japanese title is Byakuya-ko. Oh, sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation. Now, the reason that is because Byakuya's name means Midnight Sun, so the biography title should be also taken to mean something like Byakuya's Journey. Pretty clever pun. So yeah, that's first part of chapter 1. It's pretty long. It's about 200 pages for the first volume. If I do any more, maybe we'll read the summaries for volume 2 and 3. If 3 has summaries out by the time this is done, I think JinJoJess is the one doing the summaries for that, or even Kamase Megane. If she's the one doing the translating for the novel, as she comes back from her hiatus, who knows how long this will take anyway. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you got any feedback or suggestions or anything, please let me know, and I'll be sure to check out all your suggestions and try to make this experience decent. Also, yeah, if you didn't know, I'm the voice actor for Yasuke Matsuda for the upcoming Danganronpa Zero fan game, so come check that out. Just a little plug, I'll probably put that in the description. So yeah, thank you all for listening to the first part of the Danganronpa Togami novel. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully next time the spiel won't be this long, but since this is the first chapter, I thought I'd just get this out of the way, let you know what the deal is and what's going on. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.